Welcome to this presentation of Catholic Central Cougar Hockey on Cougar Puck Radio. And now, here's the voice of the Cougars, Reagan Cleaves.
It's a beautiful Friday night in Byron Center, Michigan, here as we bring you live inside Southside Ice Arena, as tonight the Cougars have come home for the first time this season to play host to the Wildcats. Hello and welcome inside the broadcast booth alongside color commentator David Shemblin. My name is Reagan Cleaves, and we are excited to bring you all the action of tonight's contest between your Catholic Central Cougars and the Plymouth Wildcats. We'd like to extend a special thanks to Mr. Jim Lantu for allowing us the opportunity to broadcast this game. Last time the Cougars took the ice, they faced off against the St. Ignatius Wildcats. That game was the second in a weekend showcase taking place at Orchard Lake St. Mary's out in Detroit. From the beginning, this was shaping up to be a hard contest for the Cougars, as St. Ignatius came in riding a 10-game winning streak that stretched back to the end of last season, in which they won their fourth straight state title in Ohio. 4 minutes had gone in the first before Rory Zawadsky received a pass right in the slot and buried it past McClellan to give St. Ignatius the lead. Matt Sullivan added to the lead when he tapped home a rebound off of a Zawadsky shot to make the Wildcat lead 2-0 heading into the break.
Zawadsky collected his second of the night when he put it over McClellan's blocker, and Chucky Wilson hammered home a rebound all in the second, and St. Ignatius took a 4-goal lead into the third. They would get one more past McClellan in the final frame as Wilson collected his second of the night and put the score at 5-0, which is where it would stand at the end of the contest.
Coming off of that loss, the Cougars fall to 2-1-1 on the season and now sit at 4th overall in the OKRU with 5 points, 1 out of first place and first in conference play. They also sit at 4th in the state in Division 3. Now they make the return trip to home after a 5-game road trip and make a quick stop here at Southside Ice Arena to face Plymouth tonight before heading off next weekend to take part in the D3 Challenge in Gaylord. There they will play both Detroit Country Day and Alpena.
The Wildcats, 7th in Division 2, are coming into this one after drawing in a 5-5 thriller against Novi, in which they surrendered 4 goals in the third, leading them to fall to 3-0-1 on the year. Sitting at the top of the KLAA Black with 7 points, 3 ahead of their closest competition, Salem, the Wildcats will next face off against Granville tomorrow at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Gabe Silva is once again out for the Cougars with an upper body injury. However, he will dress. He will not play. He is expected to return sometime at or around Christmas. Players to watch tonight for the Cougars: expect Jacob Onstadt's name to be called a lot, as he leads the Cougars in scoring with 4 goals and 3 assists on the year. For Plymouth, listen for Ian Smith, who has amassed an astounding 12 points in 4 games, thanks in large part to a 6-point performance against Forest Hills Northern Eastern, in which he tallied a hat trick and 3 assists. Now David has the keys to the game. David?
Well, Reagan, the Cougars need to do one thing really well tonight: lock down defensively and keep the prolific offense of the Wildcats from getting too many chances. Plymouth has the ability to score, as we know, and that is shown by the fact that they lead their conference in goals for with 23. The Wildcats, on the other hand, need to clamp down on Jacob Onstadt, the leading scorer for the Cougars, and as Reagan mentioned before, having collected 7 points on the year.
Well, that'll do it for our pregame show. We'll take a break, but stay with us. We'll have starting lineups, puck drop, and first period action on the other side. You're listening to Catholic Central Hockey live from Byron Center, Michigan.
Do you really want to study for that exam? Listening to Cougar Hockey is a much better option. You're listening to Cougar Puck Radio. You're listening to Catholic Central Cougar Hockey on Cougar Puck Radio.
Starting goaltenders tonight for the Cougars. They send out Ryan McClellan, who's played 2 games, 1 win and 1 tie. He has a 1.39 goals against average and a .925 save percentage. For the Wildcats, they send out number 35, Joel Drucker. He is 2-0 with a 2 even goals against average and a .862 goals against or save percentage. So, Cougars here in this first period send out Nathan Rubline and Trevor Rubline, the brothers, on defense. The forward line is Benjamin Clay, Jacob Onstadt, and Ryan Rollins. As we mentioned, McClellan gets the start in net. For the Wildcats, they send out Chartrand, Mady, Bump, Timberlake, and Roche out their starting 5, and Joel Drucker is between the pipes. So we got both teams on the ice, just about ready for face-off here. Cougars will go from right to left on your radio dial, wearing their white jerseys with blue shoulders and blue and yellow trim, while the Wildcats will go from left to right on your radio dial, wearing their black jerseys with gray trim. We've got 17 minutes on the clock. We have 4 referees tonight, a bit of a change. It'll be Onstadt and Roshin for the draw, and we are underway here at Southside Ice Arena. Rubline dumps that into the corner. Back there to play it are the Wildcats. Timberlake has it taken over. The Cougars has a run into a ref now. Big save there and a rebound, and Joel Drucker covers with 15 seconds gone here in the first. So the draw will come to the left of Drucker. In the right wing circled Cougar zone to my left. It'll be Onstadt in again with Gavin Roche, the 2 captains, going at it. Draw won by the Cougars. Near side, Nathan Rubline, a shot blocked. That goes over to Trevor. Trevor Rubline will dump it down into the corner. 2 teams there to battle for it. Wildcat taken down, no call. That was Chartrand. Now the Wildcats look to move it out. Nathan Rubline will try to play it to his fellow captain, but it goes into the Wildcat zone. Delayed offsides will force the Cougars for a line change, and the Wildcats will regroup. Now they're moving up. Chartrand tried to move that into the Cougar zone. He's successful. Gavin Roche back to play it. It's taken over, however, by Zach Grabowski. That's played to the point. Players converge at the point, and that'll come out to center. Wildcats moving left to right on your radio dial here. Just over a minute gone here in the first. Kwiatkowski spins it around and clears it all the way out into the Wildcat zone. Drucker will leave that for his defense. Now it's taken. Here's Grabowski. He powers behind the net. Sends it up to the point. Kwiatkowski, a long wrister shot, saving the rebound, laid right in the slot. The Wildcats look to play that out the glass, out to center off the glass, and they successfully do so. Now it's a 3-on-2 battle on the near side. Danny McIntyre bumped off the puck, and across the way, it is controlled by the Cougars. They'll send it near side. Cougars, Danny McIntyre can control, and now in his own zone, Blankenship. Blankenship has it poked away by McIntyre, and Plymouth clears it Out to center now. Here's a breakaway. Here's Gerbil. Gerbil, a shot. Big save. McClellan on the rebound. He will cover. Good save by Ryan McClellan there. So the draw will come to the left of McClellan. In for the draw. It is won by Plymouth. Behind the net, Easy. Couldn't pick it up, and they play it along the half wall to the point, but not out. Brace. He loses control, and the Cougars have it at center. Here's Sullivan. He's bumped off the puck. Good play. Now here's Easy. Easy down the right wing. Cuts in front of the students section. And puck will go into the corner. Nathan Rubline there to play it for the Cougars. Play along the half wall in the Cougars zone. Now it comes free. A shot put on by Wingrove, and McClellan stood tall. Cougars play it down the ice. Icing will be the call with 14:24 remaining here in the first. Draw will come to the right of McClellan. It'll be Jake Onstadt in with Brendan Allen. It is won by the Cougars. Goes off the wall and stolen at the line. Here's Smith. Ian Smith had that 6-goal performance against Northern Eastern a couple of weeks ago. Now at the point, a shot by Timberlake. That was blocked, and Timberlake regains it at the point. And now Jacob Onstadt tries a centering feed. That goes up to the near side, and Rollins will dump that into the corner. Back behind their own net. Here's Jacob Serra. Has the puck stolen up to the point. Patterson, a long shot, tipped and turned aside by Drucker, but the Cougars regain down the right wing. A shot save. That ricochets to the near side, and Brendan Allen will move it out to center, but the Cougars regain and send it back in. Drucker had to play that off his skate as Timberlake sends it to the far side. Wildcats moving from left to right here. 13:23 remaining here in the first. Cougars and Wildcats scoreless, and now McIntyre will chip that into the Plymouth zone. Rubline keeps it in at the point, but it's chipped out to center, and there will be an upcoming penalty. Now a centering pass, a shot, big save, rebound, and they score!
That was just a bad rebound.
Penalty call. Score off a rebound. Rebound from the initial shot by Jacob Serra. It was tapped home, and the Wildcats have the lead at 1.
Yeah, well, that was just a bad rebound there off of McClellan's pads, and ends up going in off the rebound for Plymouth. And Cougars will have to play from behind to start.
Exactly. The Wildcats are a prolifically scoring team. They have 23 on the year, as we mentioned in the postgame or the pregame show. They lead the KLAA Black in all goals scored. They have a healthy lead over their competition. Their next closest scoring team is at 15, and that's Canton. And players whistled down offside with 12:40 remaining here in the first. It'll be Andrew Wormuth in for the draw for the Cougars, just outside their own line on the near side. He'll be digging in with Michael Easy. It's won by the Cougars off the tie-up. Now across the way, Parker Dugan will dump that down behind McClellan. He'll wrap that off the high glass and to the point and not out. Here's Andrew Wormuth. Andrew Wormuth working around the defense. He was knocked off the puck there by Duggan. And now a penalty coming on the Plymouth Wildcats as they touch up. High sticking will be the call with 12:13 remaining. So the Cougars will go on the power play for the first time tonight. See if they can get anything going. Draw off that power play will come to the right of Joel Drucker. Pardon the left. Everybody thought it was the right, but linesman corrects them. It'll be Jake Onstadt in for the draw. The Cougars captain wins it up to the point, and the Cougars control on the power play here. Nathan Rubline will wrap it down behind. Race for the puck. Harvey Holloman beating his man to it. Now sends it near side. Cougars captain Onstadt sends it. It went off a skate, and Harvey Holloman will control in the right wing corner. Clearing attempt kept in. Near side Onstadt, top of the left wing circle. He circles around, shoots. Blocker saving the rebound, and he tees up, fires, and that's blocked in front. And Plymouth will clear it all the way down with a 30 seconds gone in the Michael Izzy penalty. Now the Cougars will move up the right wing with speed. Jacob Onstadt cutting through the neutral zone across the line. He cuts into the slot. Big save, rebound. Laid in front. No goal! You've got to be kidding me. The net was well on its pegs. We'll see what the call is. As Jacob Onstadt.
Student section thought it was a goal.
Yeah, so did I. It looked clearly that the Onstadt put it in off the rebound well before the net was knocked off its moorings, but the referees disagree otherwise, and the Cougars are denied a power play goal.
Yeah, they still got 1:05 left and counting on the power play, though, to try to put one in and tie this game up at 1.
Exactly, that would have been a very good happenstance for the Cougars. Now Patterson up the left point. Sends it down to Clay. He gets past a Wildcat defender, and they will move it out to center, however, with 44 seconds remaining on the power play. Cougars still up a man for another 40 seconds. They try to get it out of their zone, but it's picked off. Here is Allen. Allen sends it across. Smith couldn't control it. The alternate captain for the Wildcats. Now it's played along the far wall. Cougars gain control, still trailing 1-0 here. 20 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Now Kevin Patterson will send it near side. Grabowski plays it off his skate, gains the red line, and dumps it in. Across the way. They battle for it. 3-on-2. 4 seconds remaining in the power play, and the Cougars are 0 for 1 on the night. Now they wrap it around to the near side and out to center. Rubline will send it across. Kwiatkowski fanned on the clearing attempt, and Parker Duggan will send it down in. Ryan McClellan thought he came out to play it, but Trevor Rubline gains it behind his own net. Here is Kevin Patterson. Will dump it off the wall. Kwiatkowski. And now on the near side, the Cougars will play that out to center. Mady couldn't pick it up, and now the Cougars are in alone, and there's another power play coming up, and the whistle is blown. Interference is the call, and the Cougars will go on their second power play of the night. That'll be number 4, Brendan Mady, another alternate captain for Plymouth. He will head to the box, and the Cougars will go on the power play, trailing 1-0 still. In for the draw, Onstadt wins it up to Nathan Rubline. Nathan Rubline out there with Harvey Holloman on the defense. Now Rubline top of the slot, sends it to Onstadt. He had to play it off his skate. A shot that went wide. Now Harvey Holloman beat his man to the puck. Rubline sends near side. Onstadt on the left wing, sets a shot right in front, laid in front, and they score! A power play goal, the first one at home this season, and the Cougars have tied it up 1-1.
Looks like it's Quakendale getting his third of the season. He had 2 in the last game against Orchard Lake St. Mary's in that tie.
Exactly.
Down in Detroit.
Grant Quakendall banging home the rebound off the Jake Onstadt shot. Dugan made a couple of saves, but his defense couldn't clear it, and he couldn't get to the rebound, and Catholic Central ties it up at 1. Ensuing draw at center. Rubline will dump it down behind. There to play it is Parker Dugan. Cougars keep it in at the line, but not for long, as they have to regroup at center. Now the Plymouth Wildcats will try to break out left to right. Puck goes all the way down. McClellan will cover as the icing was on goal with 8:52 remaining here in the first. So, off that cover, Ryan Draw will come to the left of the Catholic Central netminder. Draw won by the Cougars. They try to clear it out. They can't exactly do that as Plymouth gains control at center and dumps it back in. Nathan Rubline loses the puck along the side of the net. Harvey Holloman actually got the goal. Cameron Beechler getting his first point in a Cougar uniform, the senior who just started this year for the Cougars. Now here's a break at center. Rollins works in, shot. That was gloved down by Drucker. He couldn't get complete control of the puck, and now Plymouth will dump that down in. Cameron Beechler. Actually, that was his first goal in 4 games as a Cougar on the ice. Congratulations to him on his first point in a Catholic Central uniform. Now puck comes out to neutral ice. Catholic Central will regroup in their own zone. Kevin Patterson will play it off the high glass right in front of the student center. And it got past the Plymouth defense, but Danny McIntyre couldn't get to that, and Grabowski will dump that in. Behind their net, fend check, and now Plymouth will move their way out. Ian Smith will chase that behind the net. He's pressured there by Kimball Sullivan. Now Plymouth controls a shot save. McClellan on the rebound, laid on the side of the net. Now it comes easy, couldn't get to that one. And now Catholic Central looks to move it out. Here is Harvey Holloman. Has the game-tying goal here with 7:14 remaining here in the first. 1-1, Cougars and Plymouth tied up here at Southside Ice Arena. Now Quakendall cleared that in on Drucker. He played it to the side. Blankenship will play that for Plymouth. Now Plymouth moves that out to center. Bump will race for the puck and beat his man to it. Now behind the net, Roche goes in with Bump. That's played up to the line, but not out. Jacob Serra, good job keeping that in for the Plymouth forward. They try to move it out. Up to the point, Serra, a long shot deflected wide, and that took a crazy bounce off the end boards, and McClellan had to cover that up. Good save there for the senior netminder. 6:32 remaining here in the first. Cougars and Wildcats evened up at 1. It'll be Onstadt and Brendan Allen in for the draw, one by the Cougars captain. Speaking of what's Onstadt couldn't catch his man Rollins as the pass goes all the way down for icing. Draw will come to the right of the Catholic Central goal. Plymouth offensive zone to my right. 6:22 remaining here in the first. Allen won that draw, popped out to the far side. Now he tried a one-handed pass right in front, but he fanned on it. And now Holloman bumped from behind off the puck. Rubline, clipped up high. He wanted a call, none forthcoming, however. Now Rollins tried to make a self-pass at center, but Allen takes control and dumps it in. Nathan Rubline behind his net. Cougars moving from right to left in your radio dial here in this first period, as we are in a 1-1 tie here in the Cougars home opener of the 2019-20 campaign. Now they dump it down into the Plymouth zone. That'll be David Brace to go and play it. He'll put it off the boards to Fromm, who will ship it into the Cougar zone. Patterson and Trevor Rubline will dump it around the boards and out to center. There to play it, Nick Schoen across the way. That took an odd hop off the partition. Then the Cougars had a chance there, but can't regroup. Patterson will play it off the half wall. McIntyre couldn't beat his man to it, and Grabowski will go play for it in the corner. Danny McIntyre had it hop over his stick, and now Michael Fromm is down the right wing. He cuts into the circle. Fromm beaten to it by Trevor Rubline. The junior Rubline on this squad. His brother Nathan is the captain. He goes and battles for it in the corner. Grabowski follows his man behind the net, a drop pass. Play along the half wall. Patterson dumps it out to center. That went off of David Brace's skate, and Plymouth will dump it all the way down into the left wing corner of the Cougar zone. 4:30 remaining here in the first. Out to center. Andrew Wormuth had to play that off the boards and into the Plymouth zone. Plymouth will dump that out. Nathan Rubline, the defenseman, back to play it. Goes off the half wall, and Plymouth dumps that back in. Nathan Rubline behind his net. Long pass picked off, but it's tipped out to center in a race for the Buck. Quakendahl couldn't get there ahead of Michael Easy. Now Schoen couldn't pick it up, and Quakendahl bumped off the puck. Now Wormuth tried the drop pass. Grant Quakendahl in there. They're playing 3-on-2. Wormuth bumped from behind, and Quakendahl takes Easy to the boards. They play behind the net for the Plymouth Wildcats. That's tipped up and out of play. That could have been dangerous. As the puck goes up and out of play, it ricocheted right into the stands. The dangerous thing about watching a hockey game here at Southside, these stands aren't netted from the ice, and so any puck or stick, as we had last year, can come up and fly into the stands. Now centering pass, a shot save, the rebound. That ricocheted a couple of times, and the Cougars miss an opportunity there. Now Plymouth will send it out to center. They gain the line. Nathan Rubline did somewhat well, but the Wildcats send that in front. That was picked off, now right in front. The Cougars chop that away. Now a shot from the point blocked in front. That came courtesy of Timberlake. Now Timberlake along the left half wall sends it up. Sarah, a shot that blocked up. That deflected up, and now the Wildcats control their own zone. Now Chartland, a shot save of the rebound. That skittered to the far side. Now the Cougars have it in their own zone. Kimball Sullivan will wrap that around with 2 3/4 minutes remaining here in the first. Play just along the line. The Cougars get it out. Here's a 2-on-1. Onstadt down the left wing. Tried to center it. That popped up in the slot, and a shot on, and Joel Drucker makes the save with 2:30 remaining here in the first. 1-1 tie here at Southside Ice Arena. These two teams have not played at least in the past 7 years. That was as far back as my research could uncover. These teams have not played in a while. At least these schools have not competed against each other in a while. Between the boards is clearing attempt right in on McClellan, and he will cover. With 2:20 remaining here in the first row, we'll come to the right of Ryan McClellan. It'll be Ian Smith in for the draw. He loses it, and the Cougars have it in their own zone. Kevin Patterson will dump that all the way down the ice. It goes wide of Drucker, and therefore an icing. So with 10 seconds elapsed from face-off to face-off, and it'll come to the left of McClellan. It'll be Grabowski in for the draw for the Cougars against Smith. It's won by Smith, and the Wildcats control a shot from a sharp angle on the right wing. That went high and wide. Now Plymouth controls at their own line, sends it across. Here's Brace. Brace, a shot that was lifted wide. Holloman goes to play it on the hash marks across the way. Puck is loose behind the net. Smith tries a spin around pass. That will deflect to the boards, and Holloman will lift it down the ice. Icing is waved off here with 1:38 remaining here in the first. Cougars and Wildcats tied at 1. That's played out to center. Icing waved off due to a tip, and Quakendahl will play that off the half ball and out. Back at his own line to collect is Gerbel, and it's played by the Wildcats behind the Cougars net. Now up to the point, a shot that was deflected, and McClellan had to stand tall to make the save. 1:11 remaining here in the first. Cougars will lift that all the way down. Icing again waved off. Matley back there to play it, but he's has it stolen at the point. We got 1 minute remaining here in the first period of play. That's lifted out to center. A little bit miscommunication between the Rubline brothers at the line, and Nathan will play catch with his brother in his own end. Wormuth will dump that down the ice. Icing will be the call. Just barely, though, as thought Wormuth had gained the line, but apparently the linesmen thought differently. We do have a 4-referee setup tonight. 2 linesmen, 2 referees. Draw will come to the left of McClellan. It'll be Onstadt and Roche. It's won by the Cougars captain and out to the line. And Plymouth has to go back to neutral ice with 30 seconds remaining here in the first. Trevor Rubline will try to ring that around the boards, but it's kept in by Bump. They play it in the right and left wing corner. It's played to the near side. Onstadt crunched along the boards. We got a quarter of a minute remaining. Now Ben Clay might have an opportunity. He has to curly cue at the point. Benjamin Clay walks in. A shot save and the rebound. That laid just a bit, and Plymouth will dump that down the ice. Icing will be whistled with just under a second to go, and the Cougars, if they can get a quick shot off this draw, might have an opportunity, but with 0.8 seconds to go in the first. Cougars will have a draw in the offensive zone. Cougars, Onstadt waved out, and Clay will come in. A shot, he had to be blockered away by Joel Drucker. And at the last second, he makes the save, and we'll head to the first intermission, tied 1-1. Stay with us. We'll be back with the first intermission report. You're listening to Catholic Central Cougar Hockey on Cougar Puck Radio.
This is Catholic Central Cougar Hockey on Cougar Puck Radio.
Reagan Cleaves bringing it back here inside the broadcast booth at Southside Ice Arena, where after 1 period of play, We are tied at 1 with Plymouth and Catholic Central. Well, Plymouth opened the scoring early in the first period with a goal on a delayed penalty when we believe it was Jacob Serra who knocked it home on the rebound as Ryan McClellan left it laying right at the top of the crease, and the Wildcat forward knocked it home, making the score 1-0. However, the Cougars would answer back on the power play as it was number 7, Michael Easy, who was sent to the penalty box for interference, and that would put the Cougars on the power play. It was Harvey Holloman who would knock home a shot assisted from Cameron Beechler and Jake Onstadt. Onstadt laid the initial shot on goal from the left wing circle. It was denied by Joel Drucker, with a rebound laid right in front. Beechler had a whack at it. He couldn't capitalize, but Holloman eventually knocked it in, tying the game at 1, and that is where we stand at the end of 1. David, what are your thoughts on the game so far?
Well, it was a very quick first period. A lot of face-offs won by the Cougars there. They had most of the puck possession the first period. They should be 2-1. Unfortunately, didn't get that goal to go their way as they called a no goal because of the net getting off. But all in all, it was a very well played first period by both teams.
You do say that, and now that you bring up that goal, I've forgotten about that. Whereas the Cougars went on their first power play of the afternoon, and they unfortunately couldn't capitalize, but they thought they did. About a minute in, Jacob Onstadt knocked home a rebound on a shot, and the net was off right at about the same time. A Cougar, I forget who, came in and knocked it in, but that could have made it 1-0. And as you say, the Cougars with that power play goal could have made it 2-1 if the original one had stood. Now let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard and the OK Roo. Tonight we've got Reese Puffer hosting Cap City, Granville hosting Northville. First game, Reese Puffer game started at 4:30, and Granville had their game start at 6:30. And then the game we have right now, the late game of the OK Roo tonight, Catholic Central and Plymouth. Now we take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. The Griffins and the Ice Hogs playing the annual Red Kettle game down at Van Andel Arena. They are tied 1-1 with 1:42 remaining in the second. You can go and listen to that on Wood Radio 106.9 FM and 1300 AM. Bob Kaiser and either Larry Frigurski or Lou Roubeau will have that call for you. You can always go check that out when we're not when we have a break in the action here. Detroit Red Wings inactive tonight, but they will play the Pittsburgh Penguins tomorrow in Detroit. That's the first time they've played since Monday. They have not played since Monday, and they will have a 2-day break and will play Winnipeg on Tuesday. That will do it for our first intermission report. We'll take a break. Stay with us. We'll have all the action of the second period here on Cougar Puck Radio.
Now, more of Catholic Central Cougar hockey on Cougar Puck Radio.
Reagan Cleaves bringing it back here inside the broadcast booth, where we are just about set to start the second period of play as the Cougars and the Plymouth Wildcats are tied at 1. Cougars will go from left to right in your radio dial, wearing their home white uniforms with blue shoulders, blue and yellow trim, while the Wildcats will go from right to left, wearing their black jerseys with silver trim. We've got 17 minutes on the clock. Ryan McClelland in net to my left. Joel Drucker in net to my right. We've got 17 minutes on the clock. Goaltenders are both ready. The scorers table is ready. All the referees are ready. It'll be Jake Onstadt and Gavin Roche in for the draw for their respective clubs. Onstadt comes in, and the second period is on. Benjamin Clay moves it to Onstadt. Onstadt couldn't get around Brandon Mady. Good defensive play by him. They move it off the boards. Picked off the line. Benjamin Clay moves to Onstadt on the right wing. Cuts into the circle. Shot save of the rebound. Lays to the side of the net on the right side. That comes to the far side. That'll be Alex Blankenship to play it. It goes up and out of play with 16:36 remaining here in the second. Cougars and Wildcats here, tied through the first period of play. It'll be Onstadt in for the draw again with the two leading scorers for each team, Onstadt and Smith, in for the draw to the right of Drucker. One up to the point, the Cougars. Benjamin Clay will wrap that around. In the right wing corner, it's played along the half wall. Now a centering pass, that one right off, and now a shot on the side of the net. Benjamin Clay couldn't get to that in time. He's taken to the boards by Smith. Onstadt digging in there to help his teammate. Up to the point, Rubline. Rubline lets a long wrister right along the ice go, and it's turned aside. It'll come to the corner, clearing an attempt to the line, not out. Rubline dumps it back down in. They move it up the line. Rubline lets a long shot go, saved by Drucker. And he controls the Cougars. Had some extended zone time there for a little bit, but couldn't capitalize, as we've got 58 seconds gone here in the second. So it'll be Onstadt and Easy in for the draw. One by Plymouth. They play it to the nearest side. Nick Schoen. That's played out to center, and the Wildcats move going to your left. Played into the corner. Kwiatkowski gets it there to the Cougar freshman. Will play it off the boards and out to center. Harvey Holloman there to play it. And at the line, the Cougars turn it over. Offsides is whistled with 15:32 remaining here in the second. So, draw will come just outside the Cougar line. It'll be Grabowski in with Jacob Serra for Plymouth. It is one off the tie-up by the Cougars. Holloman will dump that down behind. There to play it is Nick Schoen. Schoen to Fromm along the far half wall, and it comes free to Blankenship. Blankenship behind his own net will try to play that off the boards and out to center, and it's a race for the puck. Michael Fromm going in there with Patterson, and icing is the call. That's an interesting call. It was Patterson and Michael Fromm were tied up right at the goal line, and apparently the puck crossed and it was not touched, so icing was called. Good news is the Cougars have a draw in the offensive zone. It'll be Andrew Wormuth in the right wing circle to dig in with Roche, and it's won by the Cougars. Down behind the line, Timberlake tries to wrap that around, but it's cut off by his own teammate Cameron Bump, who loses it. And now Witkowski will play that into the Cougars zone. A race for it, and Witkowski beat Rubline to it. Now up to the point, a wrister blocked, and here's a breakaway. Here is Andrew Wormuth. Andrew Wormuth cutting right down the slot, big save of the rebound. He runs into the goaltender, and then it comes off with 14:40 remaining here in the first. Big chance for Andrew Wormuth right there.
Boy, does that kid have speed or what?
Andrew Wormuth was caught with a Plymouth defender coming back, but he got the shot off just before he caught, and then Andrew Wormuth diving for the rebound knocked the net off after he ran into Joel Drucker. Just coincidental contact, no penalties or scrums to come after that. Now the Cougars playing along the near half wall, right at about the circles. Grabowski cutting off the escape attempt by the Wildcats to get out of their own zone. Smith cuts off a pass, and it's at neutral ice. They ring it around the half wall. McClelland, that skipped past him, and if any Wildcats had been in the vicinity, that would have spelled danger. Now, it's played back into the Cougars zone, delayed offsides, forces Plymouth to retreat back into the neutral zone. Joel Drucker won't play the clearing attempt now. Turnover right in front, save, rebound, they score!
Oh, how did that go?
Jacob Onstadt, and the Cougars have the 2-1 lead. Jacob Onstadt took a centering pass from right behind the goal line, and he put it through. He put it through Joel Drucker, and the Cougars have a 2-1 lead. So with 13:56 remaining here in the second, the Cougars have scored 2 unanswered goals, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, to take the 2-goal lead. Quakendahl pinching down low. They play it. Jake Onstadt scored that goal. This went to Ryan Rollins from behind the net. 3:04 now. Here's a breakaway. Here is Gerbel. Gerbel in the left wing circle, couldn't get a shot off, and now Izzy lost that. And Plymouth will regroup as they send it off the high glass, and the Cougars in the zone to my left, working left to right as that went off the referee. Looked to be in a little bit of an uncomfortable area where that went off. And with 4 minutes gone here in the second, the Cougars will have to go chase the puck in their own zone. There to play it is Michael Fromm. Michael Fromm in the far corner. He's trying to work past the Cougar the defense of Kwiatkowski. That clearing attempt blocked, and Kwiatkowski will have to regroup. He'll bring it around the boards, and that'll go all the way down the ice. Icing will be the call with 12:39 remaining here in the second. Cougars leading 2-1. Off that goal from Onstadt from Rollins. It'll be Wormuth who had that chance earlier. He gets kicked out of the face-off circle. Billy Grant Quakendahl now in for the Cougars. He promptly loses, and up to the point, Mady will send that down behind the net. The Cougars trying to clear that out. It was blocked by Drew Shively. Now a centering pass picked off Andrew Wormuth. Good defensive play there. Now Shively will move that up the ice. Pass intended for Quakendahl. Quakendahl crunches his man along the boards. Now right in front, that had the chance to be dangerous. Now Rubline a shot through traffic, and Drucker makes the save right on his line, and it's up in his paraphernalia with 2:11 remaining here in the second. So, draw will come to the left of Joel Drucker. It'll be Jacob Onstadt in for the draw. And Ian Smith is thrown out of the face-off circle. Now Onstadt had the opportunity, whiffed on the shot. We do have another out-of-town scoreboard update. We'll get to that in a second. Cougars dump that down behind the net. Back there to play it is Brendan Mady. He'll play it off the end boards, and Plymouth will try to move out. Now a centering pass almost picked off, and Patterson controls the neutral ice and dumps it down. Joel Drucker Now turnover, here's Onstad, a shot save, the rebound, that skittered right through the crease. A huge opportunity for the Cougars. Now as the Cougars regroup in the zone to my left, they dump it out to center, here's Ben Clay. Onstad gets around the defense, walks in, save, the rebound. The net comes off once again. The net behind Joel Drucker tonight has come off 3 times. This one, including that out-of-town scoreboard I mentioned, it's across the way here at Southside Ice Arena. The Aquinas Saints are hosting the Eastern Michigan Eagles. It's 3-0 after 1 in favor of Aquinas. So it'll be Zach Grabowski in for the draw against Easy, won by Grabowski. Cougars will dump that down behind the Plymouth net to my right. They've got 6 minutes gone here in the first. 2-1, the Cougars lead. Rubline keeps that in at the point. He's out there with Kwiatkowski on the defensive end. The senior and the freshman, opposite ends of the spectrum. Both solid defensemen as Plymouth sends that down. That'll be right on McClellan. He'll tap that to Nathan Rubline, the Cougars captain, has it poked away and up out of play with 10:40 remaining here in the second. So, draw off that deflection up and out of play. Will come to the left of Ryan McClelland. In for the draw, Zach Grabowski loses that one. And the Wildcats pinch down. Now a shot on goal that was tipped by Nathan Rubline. He thought he was doing his goaltender some good, but it ended up almost causing disaster on a tie game. Now behind the net, Plymouth controls. Up to the point. They send it back down. Grabowski is crunched along the boards. Rubline in there to help his partner. Now a long shot from the point by Blankenship, and the rebound set wide. Now in the corner. Now down low. Kwiatkowski will turn and whip that around to the near side. Cougars get to that first. However, Rubline couldn't clear that out, and a centering pass that was intercepted, and now the Cougars busting up ice. That's Danny McIntyre. Good play by the Cougar freshman as he got a shot on goal, tested Drucker. Now the Cougars have to regroup in their own end after Plymouth sent it out to center. Now here is Ian Smith. Ian Smith cuts across the line, cuts into the right wing circle, shots, big save by McClellan on the rebound. Trevor Rubline, clearing attempt, went off of a Plymouth player, and they are tangled up in there now. Drew Shively cuts in the slot, a big save on the rebound, another shot, save, and they jam away at it, comes free behind the net, and a shot, big save, and the net comes off once again with 8 minutes gone here in the second. That is the 4th time that has come off. Dave, have you ever seen a net come off 4 times in a game?
I have not. Last time I saw that was watching the Red Wings when Howard kicked it off accidentally, but they still gave a penalty for delay of game on him.
Yeah, that's one thing you get into. It's just with the way the pegs are designed, they only keep the net in. It's a little spike that goes in maybe a half an inch. There's now a shot from the line, gloved down by Drucker. You only get put in the ice about a half inch, if that. And with the amount of speed and physicality these high school kids are playing with, it's just not going to hold if one of these kids runs into it. Now Rubline, a clapper from the point, that was tipped in front, but it eventually went wide. Now the Cougars try to send that in front. Rollins couldn't clear that. Now Plymouth will break out. Rubline chopped it away from the oncoming rush, and Rollins tries to center that, but it comes to the near side, right at about the Cougars line. Rubline tried to play that off the glass, and now on stop. We'll send it right in front. A shot, big save, score! Benjamin Clay looked like he tipped the Rollins shot in front, and it's 3-1 Cougars.
And that's what happens when you send people in front of the net. Clay right in front of the net, so the screen on the goaltender, and makes it 3-1 Cougars.
Markings of opening night as the Cougars have now got 3 unanswered goals against Plymouth, the 7th ranked team in Division 2. The Cougars had much a goal like that earlier. It was Ben Clay and Jacob Onstadt who both factored in on that goal opening night. Much to the same thing, Onstadt led a shot on goal. It was tipped in front by Clay. However, that was on a 2-on-1 and going into the offensive zone, and now here's a breakaway for the Cougars. Ryan Rollins getting the goal on that goal. I thought it was tipped in front by Benjamin Clay, but the Wildcats send it down the ice. Icing is the call from. Couldn't get to that in time. 7:49 remaining. So, 7:49 remaining. Benjamin Clay, I think, tapped that in, but we can't exactly be sure. They didn't credit him with that goal on opening night. But either way, Ben Clay deserves credit on both of those goals for crashing the net and making it hard for both Caden Fisher on opening night. And now here's a breakaway. We'll get to that in a second as a shot that drifted high of McClellan's glove, as now Chartrand crunched along the far boards. It comes free in the circle. A shot saved by McClellan. Now the Wildcats controlling the Cougars zone to my left. Play along the half wall to the line, but not out. Good play by Duggan to keep that out. Now that is Roche who loses the puck, and McClellan will cover with 7:12 remaining. Ryan Rollins getting credit for that goal, the assist to Onstadt and Nathan Rubline, 2 captains for the Cougars, factoring in on that insurance goal, giving the Cougars a 2-1, or giving the Cougars a 3-1 lead. And Onstadt off the draw will wrap that all the way down the ice, and icing will be the call with 7:04 remaining here in the second. So off that icing draw will come to the right of McClellan. It'll be Onstadt and Smith. It's popped up in the air, and a hand pass should be called, I believe. I believe a hand pass was called. But nonetheless, the draw will come back in the same spot it occupied previously. The draw is won by the Cougars, and they send it across. That'll come behind the net, courtesy of Anthony Cesar. And now a shot that whipped right high, courtesy of Ian Smith. Ian Smith, the alternate captain, let that go from the top of the circle. Now the Cougars trying to break out. That drifted high now. Onstadt. Onstadt gains the line. He's got Rubline. A shot tipped just wide. Drucker wanted a high stick. But now Clay tries the backhand from the top of the slot. Blocked in front, and the save and the rebound will be covered by Drucker with 6:21 remaining here in the second. Cougars leading 3-1, 3 unanswered goals account for the Cougars scoring. Holloman, Onstadt, and Rollins all scoring goals. Onstadt, that's his 5th of the year. Holloman getting his first in 3 games. There's now a shot from the point by a Cougar defenseman, and they go and play for it in the corner. Ryan Rollins, that is his 2nd goal of the campaign. That moves him up to 4 points on the year. Now the Cougars trying to catch up to Blankenship in his own end, and it's played out to center. Blankenship getting in there with Holloman and Danny McIntyre. McIntyre getting knocked down by Wingrove, and it's played into the Cougars offensive zone. 5:41 remaining here in the second. A long shot on goal. Something I've noticed about the Plymouth goaltender Joel Drucker. Joel Drucker, yeah, he tends to play a little bit farther out than most goaltenders, and that leaves him susceptible to some big rebounds that can lead to scoring opportunities for the other team if he doesn't clear them into the corner or right out in front. As a goalie, it limits your mobility side to side when you're out far enough, you're taking away the angle, but it's just not going to work. Now, Rubline, a shot from the line, tipped in front by Wormuth. Good play there. Kwiatkowski at the point. He'll send it down behind. Grant Quakendahl there to play it for the Cougars. Under 5 to go here in the second. Cougars dump that in. Everybody has to regroup, and Plymouth will dump that down the ice. Icing will be the call with 4:41 remaining here in the second. So, Onstadt factoring in on all 3 of the Cougars' goals. That moves them up to 10 points on the year. Pending other results tonight, that will move him into second in scoring in the OKRU, only behind Matt Harriman. Now, play for the Cougars taken by Rubline at the line. He'll gain the zone, but just barely offsides. Drew Shively not liking the call, shaking his head, complaining about the call. Judgment call there. I think he was offsides, though. 4:23 remaining here in the second. 3-1 Cougars lead. It'll be Onstadt and Roche in for the draw, won by the Cougars captain. Now a clearing attempt off of Bump, and he'll go and get an opportunity on goal. He's turned aside by McClellan. Plymouth fans not liking how Bump was knocked down, and now the Cougars will move that up ice. Andrew Wormuth goes to work in the corner, left wing. He's got help, but he turns the puck over as a huge flying hit by Jacob Onstadt levels a Plymouth defender, and that gets the student section all riled up. As now Clay fishing the puck out of the right wing corner. He's bumped into 3:38 remaining here in the second. That'll be lifted all the way down and out into the stands near side with 3:33 remaining here in the second. Cougars and Wildcats here at Southside Ice Arena for the Catholic Central Cougars 2019-20 home opener. So draw will come to the left of Joel Drucker as the "Let's Get Rowdy" chant is belted out of the throats of the student section. They are quite excited about the physicality of this game and how it's ramped up. Rubline couldn't keep that in at the point, and now here's a break for Allen. Allen, Smith shoots, save. Allen touched that to Smith, and Smith ripped that wide. Now Smith will play that up to the point. Back down to Smith. Patterson tried to back that out of the zone, and Smith controls, tried a centering pass. That went off a Cougar defenseman. Right back to Smith. He controls on the right wing circle, spins around and fires it behind the net. 3 minutes to go here in the second period of play. That's bumped out by Harvey Holloman. He couldn't keep it in at the line, and here is Kazar. I'll dump that all the way down. Icing will be the call off the stick of Kazar. So with 2:47 remaining here in the second period, Cougars leading 3-1. You would like to think that would be a safe. You would like to think that is a safe margin, but a 2-goal victory, a 2-goal lead is nothing when you're playing Plymouth, as they have scored a combined 16 goals this season in the last 2 periods alone. That's in 4 games. That's 4 goals averaging in those 2 periods. Now they've got an opportunity. Allen couldn't get to the puck in time. Here's Rubline circling behind his net, got past the defense. He'll try to clear it out to center. Now a centering pass, that one off a skate in front, and that skittered through the slot. Now a centering pass right in front. They couldn't jam that home. Gobel had an opportunity there, and Plymouth is not happy. Plymouth bench is not happy as they felt that Nathan Rubline pretty much tackled his man behind the net. They were not wrong. That pretty well could have been a penalty, as now Rubline takes another man down. That's Braden Gerbel. Now play at the line. That couldn't be kept in at the point as a bouncing puck sent in on McClellan. 1:40 remaining. Now an outlet pass to Drew Shively. He's across the line right side. Tries to cut in, lets a shot go on Drucker and gets a extra chop after the whistle. 1:31 remaining here in the second. Plymouth coach Jerry Vento expressing his displeasure after Nathan Rubline basically tackled his man behind the net. He and the entirety of the Plymouth bench were up in arms, and rightly so. Now play is along the near side half wall, and it's played out to center but not out as a pass is intercepted. Good play there by Danny McIntyre to keep the Cougars in the zone. But Kwiatkowski is taken to the boards at neutralize. Rollins couldn't control that. Isn't now in their offensive zone. Here is Plymouth. They send it up to the point. Duggan lets a shot go. Tipped in front. That went wide. And Cameron Bump fanned on the shot. We got 3/4 of a minute remaining. Rollins on the near side. A shot glove down by Joel Drucker. Good save by the senior netminder for the Plymouth Wildcats. 37.8 seconds remaining here in the second. Cougars leading by a score of 3-1 off 3 unanswered goals. 2 coming in the second. Now draw one by the Cougars. Draw one by the Cougars on that play, and they dump it down behind. Here is Michael Fromm, moves that out to center with 20 seconds remaining. Now race for the puck. Rubline beat his man, and Holloman will come and clean up the puck. He controls, circles around in his own long stretch pass, and he's caught Holloman a shot. He whistled that wide. Excuse me, that was Grabowski. As they play it, they send it down on Drucker. He will hold and cover with 3.4 seconds remaining here in the third. Cougars at Catholic Central leading 3-1 over the Wildcats of Plymouth High School. It'll be Onstadt in for the draw with 3 seconds to go. Might be able to get an opportunity. He tries to put it past the defense, and a whistle is blown by the referee. Not sure what for. The referee is going to talk to PA announcer Jim Lantu and the timekeeper down below, but we have 2.2 seconds to go. Meanwhile, during this delay, Onstadt will talk to the Rubline brothers, who are his defensive pair at the moment. We're going to reset the play clock to 3.4 seconds as Brendan Allen will go and talk with his bench. Now with 3 seconds to go, we will resume play. Just had to get a time issue going and figured out there. Not occurrences. Onstadt wins the draw up to the point. Rubline sends it across. They couldn't get a shot off in time, and we will end the second with the Cougars getting 2 in that second and take a 3-1 lead into the final frame. We'll be back with the second intermission report, but in the meantime, you're listening to Catholic Central Cougar Hockey on Cougar Puck Radio.
Do you really want to study for that exam? Listening to Cougar Hockey is a much better option. You're listening to Cougar Puck Radio.
Reagan Cleves and David Shamblin welcoming you back here inside the broadcast booth here in the second intermission, as the Cougars have scored 2 in that second period of play to make it a 3-1 advantage after 2. Goals in that period came courtesy of Jacob Onstadt, who got a goal at 3:04 from Ryan Rollins, and then a little bit later, Ryan Rollins got one of his own as Jacob Onstadt fed him a feed in the slot, and he snapped it through the 5-hole of Joel Drucker, and just like that, it was 2-1. No penalties in that first period, or in that second period, excuse me. Shots on goal. Cougars are outshooting Plymouth by at least 2, 28-11. The shots through 2. Plymouth only had 4 in that second. Cougars had 16. Ryan McClelland, although it is good that he's facing not a lot of shots, it doesn't do that well for his save percentage on the game. David, what were your thoughts on that second period?
Well, Reagan, it was much slower than that first period that we saw. It was more to do, though, with 2 goals that Catholic put up there. First one was kind of odd, and then the second one was a great screen there by Ben Clay to screen out the goaltender and end up not being able to see the puck.
Exactly, and it looked like on that second goal, it might have looked like Benjamin Clay tipped it in front, but in fact it was not tipped in front. It might have hit a Plymouth skate or something like that, but it ends up Rollins getting the goal at 8:57. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard for the Grand Rapids Griffins. They are still tied with the Rockford Ice Hogs 1-1 with 5:04 remaining in the third period. That looks to be a close game. You can go and listen to that one on Wood Radio 106.9 FM, 1300 AM. That'll be again Bob Kaiser and Larry Figursky or Lou Rabot will have that for you. Red Wings, as we said in the first intermission, are inactive tonight. They will take on the Pittsburgh Penguins tomorrow at 7. Now we take a look at the Catholic Central Cougars athletic scoreboard tonight. They play the freshman girls basketball played at 5:30, and at 7 o'clock girls varsity basketball took on Grand Ledge. Well, that'll do it for our second intermission report. When we come back in about 5 minutes time, we will have all the action of the third and final frame. You're listening to Catholic Central Cougar Hockey on Cougar Puck Radio.
You're listening to Catholic Central Cougar Hockey on Cougar Puck Radio.
Reagan Cleaves bringing it back here inside the broadcast booth alongside color commentator David Shamblin, where we are just about set for the third period of play here inside Southside Ice Arena. Cougars leading after 2 periods of play by a score of 3-1. Cougars will go from right to left on your radio dial. Ryan McClelland in net to my right. He has made 10 shots he's made 10 saves on the night, while Joel Drucker has saved 25 on the afternoon. We've got 17 minutes on the clock, and we are underway here in the third period of play. 3-1, Cougars the lead. So Plymouth controls and dumps it down behind Ryan McClelland here to open up the third period of play in the right wing corner. Battle for 30 seconds ticking away. Now behind the net, puck squirts free. Braden Goebel taking it out, and at center the Cougars gain control. Here's Benjamin Clay racing across the line, cuts to the far side, a shot. That was a blocker save by Drucker. It was timely save. Now Rubline, a shot from the point, saving the rebound. Another shot that hit a Wildcat defenseman in front, and now puck will go behind the Wildcat net, and now a centering pass to the point. Good keep in by Trevor Rubline as a shot that was going well wide, and it was blocked in front, and Plymouth will dump that all the way down with 15:57 remaining here in the third. Cougars leading 3-1. All come to the left of Joel Drucker. 15:57. Just over a minute gone here in the final frame of regulation. Now behind the net. Plymouth player knocked down. He loses control of the puck, and now Nick Schoen will move it up. He hits Fromm with an outlet pass. Now Smith shoots, and that was deflected high up into the corner, and he goes in there with Grabowski. Now he's got help from Fromm, and it's played behind the net. Kevin Patterson there to play it. He has it stolen as a pass is deflected all the way out, and Danny McIntyre in a race for the puck. Joel Drucker comes out to play it. He moves it to the line, but not out, and the pass is intercepted by the Cougars. They dump it all the way down the ice. Drew Shively couldn't pinch down in time to get it away from the Plymouth defenseman. Is now the puck is whistled. Offsides is the call. 15:07 remaining here in the second. Third period of play, not the second. So draw will come right outside the Cougars line on the near side. It'll be Andrew Wormuth and Gavin Roche. Right now the referees are having a discussion with the Plymouth bench across the way. It looks like either Jerry Vento or Alani Middaugh, but that issue has been resolved. Referees go back and take position and looks to talk with Slobodnik is right off the draw. Here's an opportunity. They're right in. Big save by McClelland. An opportunity there. Chartrand and Gavin Roche had a 2-on-1 right behind the defense, and Roche fed it across about a foot on top of the crease, and Chartrand couldn't convert on the cross crease feed, and it remains a 3-1 game. 14:54 remaining here in the third. Cougars leading by 2. It'll be Onstadt and Gavin Roche. The two captains go at it. One by the Cougars. Now to the point. That couldn't be kept in by Brace. And now the Cougars, Ben Clay, good play to lift the stick and get an opportunity for the Cougars, but it's stolen. Here's Cameron Bump. We'll move it down into the corner. There to get it is Chartrand. He's taken to the boards. And Onstadt Moves that up the half wall. A centering pass picked off by Chartrand. Chartrand works into the circle. A shot save on the rebound. McClelland seals the pads and covers with 14:20 remaining here in the third. 3-1 the Cougars lead. Draw will come to the right of the Catholic Central netminder in the left wing circle, zone to my right. It'll be Jacob Serra and Onstadt in for the draw, won by Onstadt. Cougars move that down the ice. It was tipped by Nick Schoen, and Drucker will play that off the side of his net. Up to the point. Patterson, a long shot tipped by Onstadt right in the slot. He couldn't convert that on goal, and now racing up the left wing is Witkowski. He's taken down by Jacob Onstadt and plays on the near side, and McClellan snares a bouncing
They're going to call a penalty on this for a trip.
There seems to be a penalty here. It will be called.
I didn't see a trip on that.
That was Ryan Rollins. He's going to the box. 2 minutes for tripping, and the Plymouth Wildcats will go on the power play. On the year, their power play percentage is 23.1%. They have, yes, 23.1% on the power plays. The Cougars win the draw and dump it all the way down into the Plymouth zone. Drucker miscommunicated with his defense, and now here's a 3-on-2. Allen leading the rush, cuts into the right wing, circles. Tried to feed it up to the point, and he finds Smith, but it's poked away from him, and here's Harvey Holloman. He's got a breakaway all from center. From coming back, Holloman will have to regroup. Now he sends it right in front. That hit two skates, and Grabowski will pin it up in the right wing corner in the offensive zone. He took 4 Wildcats to pry him off the puck. Good idea there for Grabowski. Now Smith gains the red line and dumps it in. 13:05 remaining here in the third. 1:13 remaining in the power play. Now the Cougars get it out to center. Here's Jacob Onstadt. He's across the line, picks up the puck down the right wing. That was knocked on goal. Now a centering pass that couldn't fit. That couldn't find Ben Clay, who was taken down in the offensive zone. This game is getting a little bit more chippy as both sides start to fight. 3/4 of a minute remaining on the penalty kill, and the Cougars dump it down the ice. 12:24 remaining here in the third. Breaking out of their own zone, the Wildcats move from left to right on your radio dial, and they dump it down into the zone, and it will be icing with 27 seconds remaining on the Cougars penalty kill. Rollins getting the penalty there. Now draw will come to the right of Joel Drucker. Zone to my left. It'll be Zach Grabowski in for the draw. He wins them back up to Nathan Rubline, and the Cougars have an offensive zone shorthanded face-off win. Now Plymouth gains control, and Izzy dumps it down. As it's stolen, and the Cougars dump it down. Plymouth gains and dumps it down. In turn, icing will be the call with 8 seconds remaining on the penalty. So, draw will come to the right of Joel Drucker. In the Plymouth zone to my left. It'll be Jacob Onstadt in for the draw with Smith. Off the tie-up, it's won by the Plymouth Wildcats. Behind their own net, here's David Brace. He sends it across. There to get it is Schoen. He sends it to Smith. Smith lets a shot go. That went well wide of the blocker's side of McClelland. And play resumes in the left wing circle. Penalty is over. A long shot tipped in front. Rebound lays in the bottom of the circle. A shot that was lifted backhanded wide. Now the Cougars. Ryan Rollins kicks it across the line. Good play there. Now Ian Smith dances around the Cougars defense, leaves it for a teammate where it is stolen. Here's Jacob Onstadt, gains the line, walks into the left wing circle, sends it down. He's tripped. Looks like he tripped over his own feet, and Plymouth will gain and dump that in to the Cougar zone. Kevin Patterson will dump that off the high glass and out to center. Plymouth. Gavin Roche will dump that in. Back to play it for the Cougars is their captain, Nathan Rubline, who has a pass intercepted. And Plymouth gains control, zone to my right. Now behind the net, Gavin Roche tries to center that in front. That took an odd bounce, and the Cougars, Drew Shively, will dump that all the way down the ice for icing. Another look at the Aquinas Saints scoreboard. Last check, they were up 8-0 with a couple minutes left in the second. They are absolutely routing Eastern Michigan right now. 10:32 remaining here in the third. Cougars with a 3-1 lead. Draw one up to the point. Blankenship couldn't control, and Warmouth is crunched against the boards, and the Cougars move it to the line, but not out. Blankenship again making the plays. The Cougars gain it and look to move out through neutral ice. Diving play by Quakendahl. He couldn't do it, and here's Blankenship down the right wing. He's crunched against the boards. They go into the corner. A huge flying hit on Andrew Warmouth. He looks a bit shaken. Now a pass right in front. That was a one-timer ripped high. That was right in front. Curtis Witkowski had the opportunity. A one-timer right from the bottom of the left wing circle. Couldn't be converted as it went high. Now play along the near boards. There is Kaiser. Harvey Holloman gains control. Is now a shot right on by Curtis Witkowski from the left wing circle edge of the slot. And it was nabbed out of the air by the left-handed glove of Ryan McClelland to keep it a 2-goal lead for Catholic Central. Now on the right side of Ryan McClelland, it'll be Grabowski and Izzy in for the draw. Now that came free right in front. They lifted a shot wide. The rebound, they score! That's Anthony Kasser. And at 9:23, we got ourselves a 1-goal game. Plymouth back within one. It's 3-2. A bit of an unfortunate bounce for the Cougars as McClellan made the first couple of saves along the right wing side of his net, and eventually Kassar collected the puck and lifted it over the glove of a diving McClellan, as now Warmouth is taken into the boards. This game is getting more physical by the minute. I misspoke and I misidentified. It was Braden Gable. Now right in front, McClellan makes a big timely save there. It was Braden Gobel who got that goal to bring the Plymouth Wildcats within one. So play is now in the Plymouth zone to my left. They look to break out. Two Cougars breaking up the play there. It was Benjamin Clay getting in there with Mady of the Wildcats. Now Plymouth controls across the way. It's taken over in the corner by the Cougars. Now down behind their own net, or down behind their offensive net. It's taken by the Cougars up to the half wing, stolen by Ian Smith. Ian Smith sends it to the near side. Here is Allen. Allen gets past the defense. Now a centering pass. He's right in. Shoots, save by McClellan. Good save there by the Cougar netminder. Now the Cougars have a 4-on-2 the other way, but a pass went too far for Rollins, and now Onstadt controls in the left wing circle. He curly cues in his own end, or in his offensive end. Now a shot right on, and Joel Drucker will make the save with 7:47 remaining here in the third. So a draw off that save by Drucker will come to his right. In the zone to my left, Cougars looking to preserve a one-goal lead over the Plymouth Wildcats. Play resumes in the offensive zone. Chartland gets rid of the puck, and now a shot tipped in front and gloved by Joel Drucker with 7:37 remaining here in the third. So, draw will come to the left of Drucker. Grabowski in there for the Cougars. Off the tie-up, Plymouth comes out of that with the puck, and it's tipped out to center in a race for the puck. That'll be taken by the Wildcats. Chartrand, and a shot that whistled wide. And now on the rebound, here's Bump. Bump knocked away from the puck by Grabowski, and the Cougars control at center. Kwiatkowski trying to do too much with the puck, lost at the line, and now the Wildcats dump it down into the Cougars zone. Out of his net, McClelland to play it behind. Nathan Rubline will wrap that around the boards. Drew Shively couldn't get that. And now in the left wing corner, Cameron Bump tried a backhand pass. He's taken to the ice. And there's a tie-up in the right wing corner. Catholic Central student section is all packed up on the glass here at the south side. They're obstructing my view of the play in the corner, and the puck comes out to center. Played off the glass by Blankenship, and the Cougars just inside their own line. Nathan Rubline will take that out and dump it back into the Plymouth zone. Across the way, Grant Quakendall tripped from behind, no call. And now here is Gerbel. Gerbel will dump that down. Rubline taken to the boards. He's got help from Kwiatkowski. Play goes to the far side. Comes down into the right wing corner. 6:02 remaining here in the third. 3-2 Catholic Central leading over the Plymouth Wildcats. Now, Braden Gerbel. Puck comes free at the line. Grant Quakendall puts that pass. He's down the right wing across the line. He's got a man coming back, taken down from behind. Absolutely no call.
I think you call it. Give a call on that one.
Right in front of the hook there. Quakendall couldn't bang on the rebound. Oh my goodness. A good save there by Joel Drucker. Now up to the point, Trevor Rubline along wrister, a shot that made its way through traffic and wide. Patterson pitches down from the point. He's along the hash marks, and that's played out to center. Jacob Onstott sends it across. Trevor Rubline will ring that around to the near side. Onstott controlling at the top of the circle along the half wall. He works down in the left wing circle, sends it right in front. There was a Cougar there, but nobody could tap it home. Onstott takes the pass from Rubline behind the net. There. It finds its way up to Rubline at the right point. He walks the line, a wrister shot, and Onstott blocked that and will go get it himself. He'll walk the line. Nifty pass for Rubline as a shot that went wide. Now Onstott. Onstott clipped up high. Patterson couldn't keep that in at the line, and the Wildcats will dump that down the ice. Icing will be the call with 4:42 remaining here in the third. So the draw will come to the left of the Plymouth netminder, Joe Drucker. 4:42 remaining here in the final period of regulation. Whistle is called, and the Cougars, Zach Grabowski, looks to be thrown out of the face-off circle, and to replace him will be Harvey Holloman. Ian Smith, however, wins it for Plymouth, and he rings it around the boards. Rubline will play that. It's gloved down by Roche at center, and the Wildcats will dump that in. Clay couldn't get that. Smith has it, has a pass picked off. There goes Roche into the left wing corner to go play it. 4:20 remaining here in the third. They continue play behind the net, and it migrates to the half wall in the right wing circle. Comes free, and the Cougars Danny McIntyre had it poked away from him at center. Now Nathan Rubline will play it off the end boards. It comes free. Roche and Smith play catch on the left wing side. Roche. Excuse me, that's Ian Smith. Will turn around and let a shot go. That was tipped right about the hash marks in the slot and deflected just narrowly wide. Outlet pass off the boards too far for McIntyre. And the Wildcats will come back in to the Catholic Central zone. There to play it is Jacob Onstadt in his own left wing corner. 3:40 remaining here in the third. Onstadt will regroup, play it off the high glass in front of the student section all the way down. Icing is waved off. Joel Drucker out of his net to play it. Back there to play it is Alex Blankenship. The Wildcats lift it down. Trevor Rubline wins the race with Fromm, and he'll dump that out to center. Almost played by Fromm, but it would have been a delayed offsides anyway. Here's Onstadt controlling it off his skate at center. He'll dump it behind the Plymouth zone. It's chipped out into the stands over the glass with 3:01 remaining here in the third. Cougars still hanging on to that 1-goal lead. So, draw will come to the right of the Plymouth netminder. It'll be Jacob Onstadt. And Smith in for the draw, won by Smith. Mady will play that out across the way. It's Brendan Allen. Most of the play here in the last couple of minutes has been taking place in the Plymouth zone. Now a shot by Clay turned aside. Onstadt the rebound on the left wing. Onstadt giving a couple of jumps at the man as Patterson let a shot go. That went wide, and now here is Ian Smith. He's with speed across the line into the right wing circle. Cuts in on McClellan's shot. That went wide. Now rebound from. Tried to center that. That went off the side of the net, and the Cougars backhand that all the way down the ice. Icing will be called with 2:20 remaining here.
Well, that was a good move, though, by the leading goal scorer for the Wildcats, Ian Smith. He did deke out McClellan, just missed the net.
Yeah, Smith did make a nice play. He worked down the right wing, got past the Cougars' defense, but he was in too tight on McClellan to make any type of a move, as now the draw is won by the Cougars. 2:13 remaining here as the clearing attempt is fanned on, and now they have it right in the slot, and it's gloved down by McClellan. A little bit of a soft shot right on him. And he gloves that down with relative ease. We've got 2:07 remaining here in the third. 3-2, the Cougars still hanging on to that 1-goal lead. Draw to the right of McClellan. It'll be taken by Zach Grabowski. In there with Smith. Grabowski loses it as a shot right off the draw on this. Now it's blocked in front. Now from the point, another shot blocked. Now the puck came free. It was too far.
You got to figure Drucker's going to be looking at the bench to go with under 2 to go.
With 1:50 to go, Plymouth has been controlling play in the offensive zone here. Now a shot by Fromm. It was tipped right up into the glove by McClellan. And with 1:44 remaining here in the third. Yeah, as David mentioned, I keep looking over my shoulder to see if Drucker has vacated his net yet. And every time I look, he hasn't. Now drawing in the Plymouth offensive zone. It'll be Michael Izzy in for the draw. He loses that to Jacob Onstadt. Trevor Rubline there to play it. Has it poked away. Onstadt gains control, however. Sends it to the near corner, and the Cougars will dump that out to center. Race for the puck. It's swatted at by both clubs. Here's Jacob Onstadt. He's with speed down the left wing. Cuts in. A shot. The puck was knocked away from him, and now it comes up to the point. Patterson couldn't get it through, and now an outlet pass to Bump. Bump across the line left side. He cuts in. A shot blocked, and the rebound centers it right in front as a shot saved by McClellan. The rebound. Behind the net, Michael Izzy. Drucker still firmly planted in the net to my left. We got 1 minute
there
to
he
go.
goes. There's a minute.
Drucker on for the sixth attacker is Nicholas Chartrand, and they got 50 seconds to work with here. The Cougars looking to hang on to that 1-goal lead. Here's Onstein, he chips it down. Here's Danny McIntyre. McIntyre behind the offensive net, just looking at this point to drain time, but it's taken away by Timberlake. We got 30 seconds to go. Now they passed it off the side of the net. Dangerous pass there made by Blankenship. Now moving out of his own zone, Chartrand has the puck poked away. Danny McIntyre sends it down behind, 20 seconds to go. The Cougars looking to save off one last attack by the Wildcats. Here is Mady. Mady sends it out. They got 10 seconds to go. They chip it down into the Cougar zone behind the net. We got 5. Nathan Rubline looks and holds behind his net. 2 seconds to go. They center it, and that will do it as the Catholic Central Cougars hand the Plymouth Wildcats their first loss of the season as Catholic Central defeats Plymouth by a score of 3-2. Well, we will take a break, and when we come back, we have a recap of all the action of tonight's contest. You're listening to Catholic Central Cougar Hockey on Cougar Puck Radio.
This is Catholic Central Cougar Hockey on Cougar Puck Radio.
Reagan Cleves and David Shanlin bring you back here inside the broadcast booth for the post-game recap as the Cougars knock off the Plymouth Wildcats by a score of 3-2. David, what were your overall thoughts on the game tonight?
Well, the game started out very, very slow and not a whole lot of offense. Besides that, they had 2 goals combined in the first, and then the second was when it really kicked into gear for Catholic Central with 2 goals, one from Onstadt, the other from Rollins. Third period was fairly slow also, not a whole lot on the offensive side with only 7-7 shots on goal. Catholic Central pretty much gained control of the game. I counted way more face-offs won for Catholic than I did for Plymouth. It showed in the shots on goal also with Catholic Central with the grand total at 35-18 for Plymouth. And a clean game too for Catholic Central with the 1 penalty to the 2 for Plymouth.
Exactly. The Cougars, when you outshoot an opponent by almost double, you know you've had their number, at least in the shots on goal category. And the Cougars did have 35 shots on goal, and we decided as a group to give Joel Drucker the 3rd star of the game. Even though he got the loss, he made 32 saves in that effort, and he kind of kept his team in this through the entirety of the game, ever since they first faced the deficit in that second early on. Other stars, we gave the 2nd star to Ryan Rollins, who had a goal and an assist tonight, and 1st star goes to Cougars captain Jake Onstadt, who finished the night with 10 points and finished the night with a season total of 10 points, adding to his previous total of 7 with a goal and 2 assists. Scoring tonight, the Wildcats opened up the first period with a goal to take the 1-0 lead. That was quickly answered, however, by the Cougars. Harvey Holloman. Assist goes to Cameron Beechler and Jacob Onstadt. That was a scramble right in front of the net. Onstadt let the shot go from the left wing circle. It was turned aside. Initial shot by Drucker, but he couldn't cover up the puck, and B, his defense was not there helping him out, and the Cougars got 2 whacks at it. Cameron Beechler got 1, and then Holloman eventually put it into the back of the net. Then the Cougars opened up the scoring in the second. Jacob Onstadt got 1 from Ryan Rollins at 3:04, and Rollins got his turn to shine in the spotlight, getting a shot from the middle of the slot off a feed from Onstadt from the left wing side, and he put it through the 5-hole of Joel Drucker, and it was 3-1 at that point. Then number 12, Braden Gerbel, got the lone Plymouth goal of the 3rd period to bring it back within 1. They had a chance to capture a goal and come out of this with at least a point, if not 2, but they failed to do so as Ryan McClellan shut the door the rest of the way from the 7:37 mark on in that 3rd, and that has how it would end as the Cougars knock off the Wildcats by a final score of 3-2. Cougars went 1 for 2 on the power play tonight, and the Wildcats went 0 for 1. Red Wings, as we mentioned much earlier in the broadcast, inactive tonight. They will again play Granville. No, sorry. Pardon me. They will play the Pittsburgh Penguins tomorrow afternoon at 7 o'clock. That game is in Detroit. Now we take a look at the Griffins scoreboard. Unfortunately, in Eric Tangrader's return to Grand Rapids, the Griffins earned a point but fell in a shootout to division rival the Rockford Ice Hogs. This is the Griffins' I believe 9th or 10th loss in a row. No, pardon. Like 4th or 5th or 6th loss in a row. They cannot help this skid. They are falling farther and farther in the Central Division standings. Well, that will just about do it for us tonight, but the Cougars will travel to Gaylord next weekend to take part in Division III Challenge with matchups against Detroit Country Day on Friday and Alpena on Saturday. Unfortunately, David and I will not be able to bring you those games, but recaps of them will be available on the YouTube page following their conclusion. Until then, my name is Reagan Cleese for David Chamblin from Southside Ice Arena as the Cougars defeat the Plymouth Wildcats by a score of 3-2. Thanks for listening. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this presentation of Catholic Central Cougar Hockey. Join us next time on Cougar Puck Radio.